Welcome to this official gameplay video of the Tigers on the Hunt game. Tigers on the Hunt is a World War II tactical level wargame simulation that covers the battles on Eastern, Western and Mediterranean fronts. In this gameplay video I will show you a bit of a gameplay from one of the scenarios within the game. The scenario I will play a bit of is scenario number 3, Pershing on the Front. It's a battle between the American 3rd Armoured Division and the German 9th Panzer Division. This is one of the battles where the American M26 Pershing saw its first battles in Europe. So let's start. I will choose to play as the German side and I'll let the computer play as the American side. I'll have normal difficulty level and fog of war enabled, and I'll let the path quality be high so the computer will take the best possible routes towards me. Let's go. First I take a look at the order of battle. In the order of battle window, and I have Fallschirmjägers, both equipped with machine guns and Panzerschrecks, and also a couple of leaders and 3 tanks, a Panzer 6E and 2 Panzer 4H. That could be useful. I close the window and check the map. My units are below here with my Panzer 6 Tiger here and the Panzer 4s. And I have those victory objectives that I will try to control at the end of the scenario. I have forces in the woods and I have forces in the building. And the Americans will approach from above. I have no extra forces to set up, so I'll continue with the next segment. I'm in the administrative segment and I have nothing to do there, so I click on the next segment as well. It's the American fire segment, which will follow with the American movement segment. And we can hear tanks moving now. And one appears up to the left corner and I can't fire at him, so I click on the AI continue button. The AI will stop and I can interrupt him with a fire. Defensive fire against him, but I can't reach him at the moment, so I just let him continue to move. We can only see him when he's visible to some of our units. And he stops. So I click on the AI continue. And I will do that as long as I can't fire. Now I can fire and I'll choose to do that. I'll choose my Panzer 4H and I have to rotate my turret because it's out of my covered arc. I'll right click on my target, choose main armament, AFV and AP ammunition, and I killed him. That was a great result, and I kept my rate of fire as well, so I can fire it on any other vehicle that approaches me. The new vehicle, and he stops, so I fire again with my Panzer 4H. This time I didn't penetrate his armor, so I have to wait, so I click AI continue. There's a new vehicle and I will not fire up on him, so I click AI continue. Hear the vehicles moving, but we can't see them yet. there's a vehicle on that hill there, on the road hill, but I let him continue. And now we can hear foot soldiers moving. None of them move within my line of sight, so we just have to see until the next movement segment if they are going to appear. I can fire with my other Panzer 4H at the tank up here, so I'll do that. Now it is my defensive fire segment. And I knocked him out as I penetrated his front turret. And I can't fire with any other weapons, so I click on to the next segment. And the American can fire at me in their advancing fire segment. And they're done, and we are in the rout segment, and as there are no broken units, I'll check my hex that will attack, but he's okay, so I do not need to rout, so I click on to the next segment. And infantry is advancing, as you can hear. And they're done. And close combat, there is no close combat, so we are in the next turn. This is the German player turn now. No reinforcements, so I click next segment. Nothing is broken or so there is nothing done in the administrative segment. Continue to the fire segment, and I'd like to fire with my Panzer 4H again against the tank that I didn't penetrate. So another shot, no hit, and I know I have a line of sight from this vehicle as well, so I turn the turret and fire upon the vehicle. But he made it, so it's okay. And I can't fire upon any other units with my German, so I click on the next segment. And I stay put where I am, so I click onto the next segment. We can hear off-board artillery north of the bridge here, but they are missing their targets hugely. They do not hit my units at all. The AI continue. His tanks firing, and they broke my units. We can see down here in the result window that they broke my sergeant and my Fallschirmjäger squad, but that was okay, so I let them fire anymore. Oh no, the M4A3 knocked out my Panzer 4H and fired, but nothing else happened. We are in the advancing fire segment, but I have nothing to do, so I click on the next segment button. We're now in the rout segment, and I like to move my broken units away. So I select them and move into the woods. They're in the woods now, safer, and my other units are okay and not broken, so I click on the next segment. And I have the advanced segment, and I still stay put where I am, so I click on the next segment. Close combat, no close combat. So we continue to the next segment. We are in the game turn 2 now for the scenario. And the Americans and German broken units can try to rally, and my sergeant in the hex did not self-rally. So I click on the next segment. And we hear the off-board artillery. They always hit the same target hectors twice. before they target a new hex. So AI continue for firing. They're firing with the tanks. Other Panzer forwards knocked out. More broken units. They're clearing the field good for the infantry. And we are now in the movement segment of the Americans. And the tank is starting to move. And it stopped. Probably because I have a Panzerschreck in that hex. And I will be lethal to him if he comes too close. So I click on the continue. And I can hear more vehicles. There's another vehicle. So I click on the AI continue. As I can't fire at him yet, so I let him continue. He stopped. And I can't reach him yet, so I let him continue to move. Reach the other tank as well. It appeared, and now I can hear foot soldiers moving again. They appear up there, but I have no effective weapon against them yet. More units visible, but too far away. Now they are in a way that close enough for me to fire upon, so I choose my squadron, my light machine gun, and fire upon those units moving. And I had a good effect here. I broke some units and they reduced in morale, so I let them AI continue to move, and he moves further away with units. And now we are in the defensive fire segment. I can try to fire with more units. I have a Fallschirmjäger down here. I could target these units. No effect. Not good enough to fire, but I have some squads down here that I choose with a good leader. And they fire up with those infantry units. But no effect, as we can see here. Sadly, I try with this Fallschirmjäger and fire upon these units. I broke both the leader and the squad in that hex. That was a good result. And that's it, and I continue to the next segment. And yeah, the moving Americans attack. The Americans are routing away their broken units right now. They're done, so it's my turn, and I'd like to route away into cover. I can shake a hex by right-clicking, and I shake the hex, and I have broken units down here. Those are okay, and also okay. So I let continue to the next segment. And the Americans are advancing now. That was the American turn 2, now it's the German turn 2. and I have no reinforcements, so I click on the reinforcement segment. We are in the administrative segment, and I had a sergeant 2 who did not rally. I had one who rallied himself, one unit rallied, and one unit that did not rally himself. So I continue to the next segment, the American administrative segment, and now it's my fire segment. So I pick some units to fire with. I have this squad here, attacks these units. I've pinned and broken them. That's an okay result. I choose my next squad, fire towards these units. A pinned unit, it will be less lethal. That squad will fire on those units. No effect. These units can as well fire. They have a good leader, 2 stars. So I choose to fire upon those. And I pinned another unit in that hex. And that's good. And I have no more units to fire with, so I click on to the next segment. And I will not move any units here. I could. This hex is still broken, and this hex, they are okay now, but I'll wait. I will just move into a heavy firestorm, so I click on to the next segment. The American tank attacked, and I click on the continue for more units to attack. The other tank broke the units in that hex, so I click on the continue. Machine gun opens fire, no effect. Infantry fire. And the American units are done. And now I can fire if I had any unit that has moved, but I don't, so I click onto the next segment. We are in the rout segment, and I have units to rout away into cover. A leader and a squad moves into the woods out of sight. They are pinned, but okay, and they are okay in that hex, so I click onto the next segment. The Americans rout away with broken units. The Americans have routed the units that they needed to, so it's my turn, and I will move those units in that hex into the edge of the forest so I can see the Americans. And that's it for now, so I click onto the next segment. We have close combat. No, we have not. We have no units that is in a close combat situation. Now we are in the third game turn, and it's my administrative segment. And I had a rally and from one of the leader, but the other leader did not rally. So I click on to continue to the next segment. And we hear American off-board artillery. Now they're coming into the left of my woods. Still my units are safe here. They are aiming poorly, and that is a good thing, so that the Americans continue to fire. They're pinning my units, and now the heavy tank firing broke my units within the building, and I'm losing units here now. Heavy fire. Really hitting my units hard here. Killing at least 2 squads in this firefight, and now they are moving foot soldiers. I'll let them continue. I let him continue. I try to fire this squad with machine gun. They were at a target I can't fire at them, so this Infantry Jäger is the one who has them in line of sight, which I could see with the red outlining, so I fire up on them. No effect, I'm afraid, so I let the unit now they're within line of sight, so I choose the other squad and fire up on them. And I lost my machine gun in that fire. I had no effect on the targets. Now it's my defensive fire, so I choose more units to fire. At least I pinned them, and my machine gun did not keep its rate of fire. I have no other units that can fire at the moment, so I click to the next segment. And they are firing, breaking more units for me. We are in the rout segment, and the Americans crouch away their broken units. So it's my turn, and I definitely want to get out of the fire line here. So move away. I move into the same place as the leader. He will assist me in rallying. Hopefully he will do a good job. That's it, so I click on the next segment. And the Americans advance. We are in the reinforcement segment, and I have no reinforcements, so I click next segment. This is the German third player turn, so you can see down here I had a unit that got casualties due to severe wounds, and I failed to rally this one squad, but rallied another squad, and a single squad did not manage to rally himself, so I click on the next segment button, and the Americans try to do that. I don't know how it went. And now it's my fire segment. And I will fire with this unit, and I'll fire at the unit in the road here. I managed to break that unit. And that's all I can do. So I click on the next segment button. It's the movement segment. And I can move some units into a better position. So I will move this squad, and I'll move in towards the building because I have more victory locations down there. In this hex I have a leader and a squad, which I will move towards the buildings as well to defend those better. This Panzerschreck squad I will move up here. Should not have done that, they killed him instantly. Bad move. And I won't move any other units. I could move my vehicle here. I think I'll do that now. I start my Tiger. I need to select it first. And I start. I move up one hex, 2 hexes, change my covered arc, and I stop. And I click next segment. The off-board artillery attacks. And the off-board artillery is done, so I click on the continue, and the AI will fire on my units heavily. They need to put down a lot of firepower there to get my units broken. That's a good thing, but he will get killed if he stays there. he managed that okay, I have to say. He did not get killed but broken. So, and I could fire with my tank here. If I had anything within line of sight, which I seem not to have, so I click on the next segment. It's a route segment, and I route my unit out of the fire line into the same hex here. So it's in shelter, and I click the next segment button. And the Americans route. And we are in an advanced segment, and I can advance my units who are moving towards the buildings. That's okay. And now we move to close combat segment. Nothing there, so we continue to the next full game turn, and we have played 3 game turns here. And then we start the 4th game turn, the Americans, and I have a good result on the rally tally here. Rallied a couple of units. Also got a unit in a better morale state as he got battle hardened during the firefight here. So I move the screen down a bit so I see my units, and I click to the next segment. We have the Americans are firing at my units. They start to move. And they start to move the foot units as well, so I choose the stack here, and I'd like to fire on those who moved. And I use, in this case, only either 1 squad and a light machine gun. And I broke the unit, and I let him continue to move. And I can see that the foot units moved within line of sight of my tank, so I choose it and fire. I eliminated 1 unit and broke the leader and 1 squad, and I can use my machine guns as well. The bow, no effect, and my coax. And I can't fire because of the amount of movement he's made. So I continue. We are in defensive fire segment, and I can fire here. I have a leader and a squad, a half squad only, so I fire. And I managed to get a broken unit and 2 units pinned. And I have more units I can fire here. I did not fire earlier, a squad and a half squad. So I fire on this. And I had some casualty taken there. It was reduced from squad to half squad, and I let the moving Americans fire now in the advancing fire segment. And now we are in the American route segment. And they're done. And I'll check if I have units I need to route away. I don't have that, so I click on the next segment. The Americans advance. They're now in the building. They've taken 1 of the victory objectives. They're really closing in, and we have a close combat here, as you can see by the dagger. We're in close combat. And we had a result here where my units got eliminated by the Americans, and I did not manage to hurt them at all. that's the end of the American turn 4. So we now have the German turn 4 as the attacker, no reinforcement, and I had no rally. So I continue into the fire segment, and I'd like to make things hard for the attacking Americans here. So I put a lot of power into the adjacent Americans here. And they were hit hard. They were a couple of reductions because some of them got killed. And also they lost morale. And I still have one unit that can fire the squad, and they can fire at the units within the forest. And no effect there. And I fire with my tank on the building here. Main armored first, infantry. Not much of an effect, so I use my machine guns. And they fired. So I know more to fire, so I click onto the next segment, and I have movement segment. And I think I'll assault move this unit from the woods up adjacent to American units. And they were immediately attacked and destroyed. So I have a broken unit here, and he can't move. So I continue to the next segment. And firing hard at me. I will have a hard time to secure a victory here. I'm in the advancing fire segment with no units of fire, so I click on the next segment button. And I'm in the route segment. So I'll route away. And he's moved into the woods a bit. I have no broken units there, and I have a broken unit here. I will move into the building. And I can click on the next segment, and the Americans' routes. And it's my advance, and I think I'll advance a squad up in the building, spread them out a bit. Next, close combat, and no close combat in this segment. And I click on the next segment, and we have played four full game turns now, and it's the American game turn 5. And I will stop here, and hope you enjoy this gameplay, and I hope you'll enjoy the game as well. You can watch other videos. We have game tutorials on the Matrix channels. And for now, I say bye-bye.